Alright guys, Papa Pepper here. This is video 7 of my just advice to newer users. This one's going to be maybe a little rougher than some of the other ones. Some of the other ones are kind of encouraging, things you can do. This one's more on something you should not do. A long time ago, it was actually 8 months ago, I did a post called How to Commit Steemicide, which is suicide on Steemit, and how not to if you prefer to avoid it. I'll link that post after this video. But really, Steemicide is when somebody, often a newer user, doesn't have to be, commits Steemicide, meaning they take their username and they pretty much destroy it. Often what happens is there's going to be some sort of confrontation between them and others, and it winds up where their reputation, their username, the whole thing is just destroyed to the point that they can no longer positively interact in the community. I've saw it happen a lot in my time here. It's still happening, and in the post I made 8 months ago, I laid forth a couple different ways that I've seen, a couple different root causes of Steemicide. I'm just going to run through those quickly. But the first one was drinking lethal perspectives. And this is when a user pretty much has the wrong mindset, the wrong viewpoint, the wrong perspective, to the point where it causes them to be extremely negative. Usually there's an entitlement mentality that goes along with it, where they're like, you know, I was born, pay me, I'm hungry, pay me, I'm poor, pay me, I need a phone, pay me, I want to go to college, pay me, I can't get a job, pay me, I don't want to get a job, pay me. And really just for showing up, for being there, kind of like a lot of people in America are treating the government. You know, here I am, pay me, I had a kid, pay me, I need a phone, pay me, I don't want to go to work, pay me. It becomes that mentality where because I exist, I'm entitled to have others pay me just to exist. So on Steemit, people pretty much come with this mentality that they deserve something immediately. They don't want to put forth any work up front. They don't want to engage in the community. They pretty much just want to be able to make a post out of nowhere and get a huge payout. That's often not the way it works. Periodically, people have successfully come in out of nowhere, got caught, got mentioned, got seen, noticed, and received some good payouts, but that's not often the way it starts right away. Often there's a lot of work that goes into it first. So if we have a lethal perspective, it's going to decrease the enjoyment and positive, way that we interact with others, so that we're only negative. And as that goes, people whine, they complain, people get sick of it, and people flag them. And a flag on Steemit, just so you guys know, is like a downvote. With the power to upvote also comes the power to downvote. With my power, I can, I've got about 30,000 Steam power right now. If I upvote someone who's at 25, they'll go up to like 27 or 28 for reputation. So if you enter Steemit, you're at a 25. If somebody upvotes you, you start to climb up. Well, if somebody downvotes you, you can drop too. And the way I understand it, the reputation is kind of like the Richter scale, where each level is like 10 times greater than the previous. So when I'm at a 74 right now, if a certain user came and downvoted you and you were a 30, they could easily drop you to like a 24 or 20, possibly. If they downvoted me and I'm a 74, odds are I'm going to stay a 74. So that's what I talk about when I talk about flagging. The flag is the symbol that represents a downvote. It apparently was probably originally designed to fight plagiarism and things like that. But people can use it arbitrarily. They have the freedom just to kind of use it as they see fit. The second way I've seen people commit Steemicide is really kicking a hornet's nest. And it's common in some users, but once it kind of dominates their blog, their comments, and their interaction, it it has a real negative effect on them. You'll see some certain things like people saying, "Oh, Steemit's a scam. It's not fair. It's a scam. People are cheating. It's a scam." Really, a scam is something, the way I understand it, where somebody tries to scam you out of something. Often there's money involved. They want your money. You give them your money. You get no return for your money. They robbed you. They stole your money. Here, you can invest in the cryptocurrency that is Steem, or the cryptocurrency that is Steam-backed dollars, but you don't have to. If you sign up and get a free account, they will give you some Steem to start with. And the only real investment that you need is time, effort, and energy. Okay, you were going to do something with your time anyway. If you invest at Steemit, you may get a return on that investment. Many people have gotten quite a return on their investment where they can make tens, hundreds, thousands of dollars. Now, if something pretty much has the potential to give me a lot of money and I don't need to put any money into it, that's not really a scam. You know, if I sit down and watch a television show, I don't get paid for that. Is the television show a scam? Well, no, of course not. So, too often people get discouraged. They see things going on. They say, "Oh, look, they're only outvoting their friends," or something like that. People have that freedom. You know, quite simply, they do. There's no guarantee. There's no requirement. There's no promise with Steemit. All there is the opportunity. So, I would consider Steemit not to be a scam. In fact, you know, if they just scammed me into tens of thousands of dollars or something, how is that a scam? They haven't taken anything from me. But what they do, when I say kick a hornet nest, I mean, if you walk by a hornet nest in the woods, often nothing happens. But if you start kicking it, eventually hornets start coming out. So if I've seen it where every post that somebody puts out is just talking about how Steemit is a scam and how it's unfair and, you know, this and that. Every comment they put out is, "Oh, this is unfair, this is a scam, this is a scam." And eventually people get sick of it, just like hornets in a hornet nest, and people start downvoting their comments, their posts, to eventually the point where once somebody reaches a 0 for a reputation, now you started at 25, but once someone reaches a 0, their posts become grayed out. You have to click to show the post, you have to click to show the image, and that's kind of what happens over time to these people. Another way I've seen people commit Steemicide is bringing a knife to a gunfight. And this is where you have a newer user, again usually, just attack, maybe it's a large dolphin, maybe it's a whale, and it doesn't even have to be that whale or dolphin coming back, but pretty much they start attacking somebody gets sick of them and begins to downvote them. Or somebody's friends, you know, it may not even be the person. Somebody may say, "Wow, look at this person's, you know, attacking," we'll use me as an example, I don't know if this actually happened, but look, this person is attacking Papa Pepper, they're, you know, whining and complaining and calling him all these names, and they come over and flag stuff. And I have seen that where people make comments on my posts and somebody else flags them. I've never flagged anyone myself, but all of a sudden you just see their comments grayed out. You can't see it anymore. You have to click on it to unlock that. And what happens is, over time, if the person continues to bring this knife to a gunfight and they don't learn their lesson, eventually, you know, their reputation is gone. Any post they make is immediately grayed out. People can't see it. And there's often kind of a negative stigma to that too, and really, you shouldn't start a battle you can't win because it may cost you your life. Now you can create a new Steemit account, but I would rather have a particular username, have a particular brand, and build that up and have a reputation, because often too when somebody comes back as a new username, people understand or find out that that's the same person. And too often, history repeats itself. Now there's also what I call a self-inflicted wound to the reputation. This is where somebody gets fed up. I've seen it happen before where they say, "Okay, you know, people won't listen to me, I'm going negative." And they pretty much welcome flags and welcome stuff like that because they think it's going to give them a greater credibility or help people realize the seriousness of the situation. But again, what happens is their comments get grayed out, their reputation drops, and they really kind of fall into the shadows. In all my time here, I've only seen one person head into the negative rep and then come back that I'm aware of. So can it be done? Yes, but it's better not to go negative at all. if you have a serious issue, it's best to ask advice before you just start attacking people and stuff like that. I know that Steemit is an uncensored platform, and you may say, oh, well, if I can only say nice things, that's like censoring me. Well, no, it's just that with actions come consequences often, and if you act inappropriately, often there's a negative consequence. So just like in any community, there's a certain etiquette that we need to follow. And I'm going to use an example here. A couple videos ago, I mentioned that I noticed some new user show up. They obviously were a YouTuber. They found out about Steemit, and they were flooding Steemit with their posts. They were taking YouTube video after YouTube video. Here's a post, and then 11 minutes later, here's a post, and then here's 20 minutes later, here's a post, and then 7 minutes later, here's a post. And they were doing that. I said, if people do that, they're really saturating the market with themselves to the point that there's going to be no demand. I was looking, through it. I mean, most of them were 0 for payouts. Some of them had a cent or 7 or something like that. But if that person would have slowly come in, and rather than I want it here and now, and here's 50 posts, give me $10 a piece, and I'll have $500, or I don't know what the mentality was, but obviously they were looking for a quick return on their investment because they were putting out a lot of posts quick. And I suggested to you guys, with quality and content, keep it consistent and quality, but not too consistent, where every hour you're putting something out. And what happened too with this person, I saw they upvoted one of my posts, and they said, hey, I followed you and I upvoted you, like, do the same for me. And I didn't comment back to him. I was trying to figure out, exactly how to speak to this person in a way that wouldn't offend him. And apparently some people in the community did start speaking to him, and they eventually got themselves in a fight. Last I checked, they were at a 1 for reputation. And they really weren't dropping it with people. They were still kind of attacking people, saying this and that. Apparently they were flagging people out of frustration. When you show up and you do that, you will be destroyed. I mean, is it right? Is it whatever? Well, it's what happens. So I'm going to warn you. It's unfortunate, and hopefully a lesson will be learned, but ultimately, that's going to be the outcome of that, is that your reputation is going to drop. Eventually you'll destroy your username, and it'll kind of be over for you. I have seen before where some public apologies have helped in things and worked. That's great to humble yourself and say, hey, look, everyone, I was wrong. As far as I know, I offended these people. As far as I know, I did these things wrong, and I don't want to do it anymore. Does that guarantee that you can come back and succeed? I don't know. I can't guarantee anything. But it's better to admit wrong, admit a certain level of ignorance, admit something was inappropriate, and try again, than just to continue on the downward spiral. And this is why if somebody is feeling down, they are disappointed, they think Steemit's a scam, they don't like the way it's going, what I recommend is the form of Steemicide I call the noose. And what the noose is you just stop. You think Steemit's a scam, you're not getting a return on your investment, you had an argument with somebody else, maybe you got a flag, you're frustrated, you're discouraged, you're disappointed, and you're fed up. Don't go on the blockchain and blast everyone, don't attack everyone, just stop. Just take a break. And later, if you're over it, if you want to try again, if you're ready, then just come back. All that's going to happen is there's going to be a gap in your posting. That's going to be it. There's just going to be a gap. There's going to be a space. So, and then you can come back in. You haven't done any damage to yourself. You haven't done any destruction. You haven't lost, any reputation or followers or things like that. So, I'll link that post. Just be wary of your interaction here. Don't commit Steemicide. You're going to want to be in this for the long run. And as things continue to get better on Steemit, as the price continues to rise, you're really going to want to have the opportunity to be involved and not lose anything you've previously worked for. So a little more serious this time, not quite as fun, but still something I want to cover. I'll link that post for you guys. Read through it. It's available in a couple different languages now, thanks to Operation Translation. So I'll try to put those in there too. Alright, pop out, steam on.